Good afternoon, Chicago, and welcome to the 415 News. I'm your anchor, Jake Worcester, and today we'll be covering the controversial Pullman strike that started in the south side of Chicago towards the beginning of May. We have just received news that the Pullman strike has come to a close. It was a strike not to be taken lightly. The riot escalated very quickly from the start and also became violent. Labor workers overturned rail cars and made barricades, which resulted in destruction of property and the cost of railroad company millions of dollars, along with the strikers losing more than $1 million in wages due to the 125,000 railroad workers walking off during their jobs. We are now going to hand it over to Antonio Lopez, live at the American Railway Union.
Thank you, Jake. I'm here today with Matthew, a union worker who has recently participated in the Pullman strike. Say, Matthew, why did you and thousands of others walk away from your jobs, slow down and destroy the economy in the United States?
I don't really know. Some people felt that they needed more money to sustain a healthy lifestyle, and how could I not want more money?
It seems like you labor workers don't have much of a cause and are only causing destruction. Do you really deserve the money? And were you really starving?
Well, I was doing okay before, but some more food would help.
How do you justify destroying the railroad cars for your boss's company?
To be honest, we just did that out of rage and really just wanted to start controversy.
All right, well, thanks for your input. Though it does not seem you do not know much about your cause. Now back to Jake in the studio.
Antonio, for that interesting perspective. I have here with me a letter from the governor of Illinois, John P. Altgeld, written to George Pullman during and about the strike. He writes, "I learned from your manager that last spring there were 3,260 people on the payroll. Yesterday, there were only about 2,200 at work. The relief committee on last Saturday gave out 2 pounds of oatmeal and 2 pounds of cornmeal to each family, but even the relief committee had exhausted its resources. Now, why would the management at Pullman Car Company have relief efforts if not to help those in desperate need? And yet the people still revolt. It's really unfortunate that Pullman hired all those maniacs who are just walking away from their jobs. But hey, who wouldn't want to give a raise to the people, destroying the city, paralyzing the railroads, and causing violence around the country? Some more good news for today. It's my honor to announce President Grover Cleveland.
Hey Jake, thanks for having me on.
Pleasure is all mine. Now, Mr. President, how do you feel about these 120,000 people who went on strike this past week?
Yeah, it's a shame that these people felt that they needed to be destructive and that would help. I think that what they aren't realizing is that we are just coming out of an economic depression caused by the panic of 1893, and many jobs around the nation are cutting wages as well as adding hours.
I completely agree. A peaceful protest might have influenced George Pullman to maybe lower rent from those staying in his housing, but tipping over railroad cars and causing destruction is not a smart way to get something you want. Coming up next, Jacob Franzen with sports.